Hello there and welcome to the first ever episode of Impro at Cooking with Dopefish. On today's menu we have banana ice cream with homemade caramel sauce. It's quite a simple recipe I'm just gonna do while I introduce the show to you guys. Anyway, just start off by peeling the bananas. So, maybe you're wondering about the name of the show, Impro at Cooking? What does Impro mean? That sounds really weird. Well, I'm gonna tell you. I think it's quite clever, but maybe that's just because I'm an idiot. Anyway, it has three meanings. First of all, Impro is short for improve. See, improve at cooking with Dopefish. It makes sense, right? And the second meaning, improvise. Improvise at cooking because I have sort of an improvising style when I cook, so yeah, it just makes sense. And the third meaning is I'm pro at cooking with Dopefish because, let's face it, I'm fucking pro at cooking. Here, let me show you. So what you want to do is just slice up these bananas. Doesn't matter if the pieces aren't all that even or if they're kind of thick or whatever, just slice them up. And then you want to put these on a plate and just pop them in the freezer for about an hour and a half. So yeah, I don't have any formal training or education in the culinary arts at all. I just like cooking, so I do it a lot, and I think I'm pretty good. But yeah, one of the goals of this show is actually for me to improve as well. So I want you guys to point out things I do wrong or things I could improve. I'm sure there are people watching this video who are better at cooking than me. So yeah, if you guys see anything I do wrong or something I could improve, please feel free to give me any suggestions or pointers. I'm more than happy to take them. Alright, so put the timer on 90 minutes, go play some video games for an hour and a half, and then come back. And after 90 minutes, it's time to take your bananas out. And as you see, they're not quite frozen, that's pretty much exactly what we're looking for. They're cold and sort of hard, but they're not completely frozen. So yeah, you want to get your stick mixer out for this, or I guess you can use a food processor if you want to. I'm using this stick mixer though, because I think it works better. So yeah, you just want to pop a few of these banana pieces in there and then give them a good mix with the stick mixer. So if you're feeling a bit adventurous, you can add a bunch of other ingredients at this point. Just anything that goes with banana, really. I added cocoa powder and sugar once to make sort of a chocolate banana ice cream, and it turned out really, really great. It was amazing. I'd recommend trying some berries or other fruits, you know, perhaps raspberries or blueberries. And of course, if you have some mint chocolate, oh, it just goes so great with banana. Of course, what we're doing here isn't real ice cream, but it doesn't really matter. It tastes really good, it has the same consistency as ice cream, so yeah, just bear with me here. I'm gonna call this ice cream even though it isn't technically ice cream. Sometimes it's gonna get stuck inside or on the edges of the stick mixer, so just use a knife and scrape it back down and keep mixing it until it's all smooth. So yeah, this is basically the consistency we're looking for. It's a pretty smooth puree, perhaps with a few chunks here and there. Of course you can mix it more if you don't want the chunks, or you can mix it less if you like some chunks in there. So yeah, just pop the bananas in the freezer while we prepare our simple yet delicious caramel sauce. So yeah, here's all the ingredients you'll need for the caramel. It's just milk, butter, got some cream, some syrup, and sugar. This is just regular sugar, the same kind you'd put on your cornflakes in the morning. I think the proper English word for it is caster sugar. Alright, so here's our syrup. This is a light kind. I think it might be called golden syrup in the States. But yeah, just use any kind of light syrup and it should be fine. Alright, so here's our cream. Now, this is some sort of cooking cream. I think it has part vegetable fat in it or something like that. Don't use this kind, it's really stupid and bad. I only used it because I didn't have any regular cream. But of course, you'll want to use full fat cream for this. So, here's our milk. Regular, 3% fat. And it's Christmas themed because I shot this around Christmas. Who'da thunk? And next up is just some regular butter. Good old butter. I think this is salted, you can use unsalted if you want, it doesn't really matter. Just don't use margarine for this, cause it doesn't really work. Alright, so grab your saucepan and it's now time to mix up the ingredients! Hooray! You start off with the milk. We're gonna use 1 deciliter of milk, which is a bit less than half a cup if you're from the US of A. I'd recommend using an online converter though if you want more exact measurements. Next up's the cream, and we're gonna use 2 deciliters of that. Big shoutouts to Natus for introducing me to the banana ice cream recipe, and an even bigger shoutout to Bjerre for letting me use his music. If you like the music playing in the background of this video, I would recommend checking out the link in the video description, which leads to his channel, where he has more music. Alright, next up is the syrup. We're gonna use about half a deciliter of it, and well, we would if it ever fucking flows. Jesus God, it's so slow! Aw, syrup, you're so slow. And lastly, we're going to add the sugar. This is a tablespoon, which I believe is sort of a Swedish measurement thing. Anyway, it's 15 milliliters if you don't use the tablespoon thing in your country. And we're gonna use 3 tablespoons, which comes out to 45 milliliters in total. And in case you Americans are wondering what I'm going on about, 1 fluid ounce is around 30 milliliters. So there you have your frame of reference. Alright, so just go ahead and mix that shit up, and then we're gonna put it on the stove. We're gonna put the stove on high, and we're gonna start cooking our caramel. Alright then, so now we just need to cook the caramel. It's gonna take 15-20 minutes perhaps. Just make sure you continuously stir. It might be a good idea to turn the heat down to medium-high instead of having it on max. So yeah, just keep stirring, and over time you'll see how it shifts color and thickens up. Since this is the first episode of Impro at Cooking with Dopefish, I thought I'd answer some questions that will no doubt become frequently asked questions if I don't answer them now. Such as, what camera do you use? Why is everything so shaky when you're moving? And of course, why are you so horrible at cooking? Well, let me answer that for you. I'm using my Samsung Galaxy S2 smartphone as my camera for recording this. I have it mounted on a universal phone stand, which holds it in place and lets me get a good non-shaky picture. Which brings me to question number 2. Why is everything so shaky? Well, when I don't have my stand, I'm gonna have to hold the phone manually, and it's just hard to not make it shake. You're just gonna have to live with it. I'm not sure how much I'll actually use the manual technique. Maybe there's no reason to show me moving around and putting stuff in the freezer and that kind of stuff in the future. I just thought it would be kinda neat to actually show you what's going on. We'll see. And of course, for the "why are you so horrible at cooking, I'm much better than you" question, well, you probably are better at cooking than me. As I said before, I'm just an amateur, but I'm trying to learn. Instead of being a rude prick about it, why don't you just give me some advice and help me out? Tell me what I'm doing wrong, and I'll try to fix my mistakes for the future. Thank you. Anyway, if you have any requests for recipes you'd like to see me cook or try, feel free to just post them in the comments or send me a PM. I'd love to take some requests, you know. I'm not sure how often I'll do these videos. Maybe once every 2 weeks or so, but yeah. Now, you might have seen me tilt the pan every now and then. I'm just checking the consistency of the caramel to see if it's done. You want the caramel to sort of stick on the bottom and sides of the pan. You want it to be really thick and gooey, and it's gonna be delicious. We're making a really basic caramel here. There's no flavoring in it except for the caramel itself. Now, you can add a lot of different stuff to this thing to make it a bit more interesting if you want to. Orange juice, for example, gives you a really nice orange caramel. It's delicious. The caramel is almost at the consistency I want it now, so I'm just gonna taste it. And of course it's delicious! It's creamy, it's sweet, but without being too sweet. Anyway, I figured it needed a couple more minutes on the stove. And through the miracle of video editing, the sauce now has a perfect consistency. So we're gonna do the very last step to making a good caramel, which is adding the butter! Yes, don't think I had forgotten the delicious butter. You wanna remove the pan from the stove at this point and just turn the stove off. Of course I couldn't because my camera was stuck there, but yeah. My heat is off at this point and I'm just mixing the butter in. And here's the video without being sped up so you can actually see the consistency. Just look at how gooey and creamy that looks. Oh, it's delicious. It's almost the consistency of the syrup we used at the start now, and oh, it's just great, I tell you. If you haven't actually had homemade caramel, you really have to do it. Even if you don't make the banana ice cream, just put this over like store-bought vanilla ice cream and it's just fucking delicious. Alright, so just scoop up your banana ice cream and pour over that hot caramel sauce and you're good to go. I had some mango lying around, so I sliced that up and then I I put a green thing on top of it, and it looks absolutely ridiculous. Presentation isn't my strong suit, okay? I don't know anything about plating techniques. Just don't put a green thing on it, and don't try to make it fancy, cause it's not fancy. It's just delicious. It's rustic. Rustic is sort of a hit word these days, isn't it? Anyway, just make it, guys. Just make it yourselves, and it's gonna be delicious. I promise you. If you don't like banana, then don't make banana ice cream, because that would be fucking stupid. Anyway, just yeah, just try it out yourselves, and I hope you enjoy it. And please give me some feedback in the comment section below. I'm wondering if you guys like this type of video, or if I should just scrap the idea altogether. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Bye bye.
Thanks for watching, everyone. I'm gonna eat the rest of this now. Fucking glorious. Goodbye.
I'm sure there are better people. Well, better at cooking what? Better people than... People who are better than cooking at me... No. Better... What? People who are better than cooking... People who are better at cooking than me out there watching the video.